Welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, and we're going to talk a little bit more about the CrossFit Open today, because right now we are a little over a week away from it, and it is the biggest thing happening in our space. And it's going to be a really interesting year, in my opinion, because I believe this is the first year we're really going to get to see the full breadth of Adrian Bozman's programming. Last year, the programming was pretty much already set by the time Boz took over. By the time Castro was let go, it was already very close to the season beginning, and the open workouts had pretty much been written already. I believe there may have been some changes and adjustments done after Castro left, but I wouldn't call those workouts Bozman's workouts, because he wasn't the one working on them. He wasn't the one who originated those ideas. He may have adjusted them, but that's not the same as coming up with something from scratch. So I think this is going to be our real first opportunity to see a full season programmed by Adrian Bozman, which I think is pretty exciting. Castro had talked about that he did eventually plan on stepping down. Obviously, he did not plan on being let go, but there was going to eventually be a changing of the guard. This was not the way that anyone anticipated it happening, at least not anyone from the outside or Castro himself. But this is where we are, and I think Bozman's a cool guy. He has a lot of experience in the CrossFit space. Actually, we're gonna talk a little bit about an interview he did with Miranda from Street Parking. That's why I decided to wear my Street Parking shirt. It's actually a Street Parking and Castro shirt. This isn't really about Castro today, but I think everyone is friends, including Street Parking, Bozman, and Castro, which is a positive thing to see. And all those people, Miranda from Street Parking, Adrian Bozman, and Dave Castro, they've been in this CrossFit thing for a very long time. And you did see that when they were talking in their interview.
One of the funniest comments was, my husband just said, this is proof there's a CrossFit Illuminati.
There definitely is not a CrossFit Illuminati.
And I'm gonna link the full podcast below because I think it is definitely worth listening to, but I did grab a couple pieces that I thought shed some light on the Open. So I see people all the time, especially some of the more competitive people that I know, either at my gym or at gyms I used to go to, trying to prepare for the Open with some crazy stuff. They're like, oh, you know, we saw those double under crossovers, so I better learn them, could show up in the Open. And the Open does have a lot of mystery to it. We have no idea what we're going to see at this point. But I think the focus isn't going to be things like double under crossovers.
The Open is this big thing. It's a big communal celebration of fitness. It is a competition. It is a qualifier. It's all these things. And because it's all these things, it needs to be at its heart, like really accessible. And like that's a big focus, is that how do we get hundreds of thousands of people around the world with varying access to equipment able to participate in this? And, you know, obviously you have to draw the line somewhere, but we're going to focus on pretty common equipment.
Bozman made pretty clear that this Open is going to be accessible. That's the word he used himself. And I think that's a bigger focus now than it even has been in some previous years. Now that we only have 3 Open workouts and we have this additional stage, the quarterfinals, it allows the Open to be very, very accessible. At times, we've had the Open go as far as to qualify people directly to the CrossFit Games. So it really had to be a very thorough test to see who deserved to compete on the highest stage. That's not what we're looking at anymore. There's the quarterfinals in between and semifinals. So while he did say that we're going to see some increase in skills during the Open.
Also, the way we structure some of the things, like there will be some more challenging movements because you have to filter for the next stage, but they're not going to happen in a way that they just stop the rest of us that aren't quite there. They're put in a way that the best can get there and show how good they are, but everybody else will still have a chance to play up until that point.
He makes it pretty clear that it's going to be done in a way that you can always start the workout and get something out of it. I remember my first Open was 2015, and there was a workout that started with ring muscle-ups. I had been CrossFitting for like 3 or 4 months. I was not able to do a ring muscle up. So that's the only open workout I've ever had to scale because it wasn't done in that way where it allows everyone to do something. And of course there is the scaled workouts and the foundation workouts, but I do think there is a push to make the open workouts for the RX division as startable for everyone as possible, because if you don't know this and you're new to the open, 1 rep RX is better than a million reps scaled. And I think that has always been designed that way since the scale division appeared, to push people to try these RX workouts if they're capable to some degree, even if it's not necessarily their best workout, like it's not going to be their best performance, they're not going to get as big of a cardiovascular push from the workout because you have to slow down. If you're capable of doing it, it's to encourage you to try. So there's a lot of open magic. You'll see people get their first muscle up in the open. I got my first muscle up in the open. I would not have done that workout with muscle ups in class because I would not have achieved the desired stimulus for that day's workout. But the open is different. The open is to push you to do some new things that you've never done before, and to really push the community to see how we're growing year to year. And I encourage everyone to sign up. Just going to add that right here. I don't get anything out of that by encouraging you. No one's telling me to do that. I just really believe in this. This is gonna be my 9th open, so that's just me saying what I think is important. But I've gotten a lot of firsts in the open. My first open ever, that in 2015, I got my first chest to bar. I wasn't doing chest to bar in regular workouts because I couldn't do them yet. And I was pushed to do it in a workout because I had to if I wanted to log a score, and I got it. Was it pretty? No. I had to do like a double kip to get up there, like kip, 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 to try to get my chest to it. But I did it. And that's what's gotten me to where I am today, where I can link chest to bar and even do some butterfly chest to bar. So open is magical, and I think everyone should sign up. And I think it's going to be really cool to see what Adrian has to program. In this interview with Street Parking, he also mentioned the kettlebells a little bit, and talking about how he has an affinity for kettlebells. And I think we're going to see kettlebells at some point in the open or quarterfinals. It was added to the list of equipment. So I think that's something we should look out for, although I don't know if it's necessarily gonna be in the open. And I'm excited for new things because a new person brings in new ideas, and that's always exciting. Although there was a little video about open announcements put up on the CrossFit Games Instagram page recently, and it was a lot of Castro, and it sort of brought back all those memories of how great Castro was at that, and being like that guy we love to hate. And I'm not sure if Adrian Bozman will ever be that guy that we love to hate. He just has a different personality, but I think it's just cool to see the sport evolve. And I'm excited to see what Bozman programs completely on his own without as much influence from Castro, although I know they're still friends, but not like real influence. So I mentioned earlier on in a video predicting what we're gonna see in 2023 in the CrossFit space, and that was a simplified open, and I'm still sticking with that because of the reasons I just stated. So if you're looking at ways to prepare for the open, I think it is well-rounded fitness and not necessarily focusing on some of the crazy things. Adrian Bozman also sort of alluded to that in the interview as well.
The competitor programs, I feel like a lot of times they're practicing specifically for what they think they're gonna see or what they've seen before.
Yeah,
and
I
they
agree.
won't throw in random things. They won't get as creative, or sometimes when they get creative, it goes in a weird direction.
Yeah, it just gets
like throwing
too
dirt at people.
far out, you know? Yeah. The whole philosophy was you want to be well-rounded, and I think some people have taken that and tried to apply it in this really narrow competitive way. It's like, well, I'm going to be well-rounded to a point. I'm going to be well-rounded to like what I think I'm going to be called to do in competition.
And while he was there, he also did a partnered video with Street Parking that CrossFit even ended up picking up. That was really cool and fun. I'll link that below as well. You can see a tiny bit of it here.
I think I hear a rower. Oh, that's definitely a rower. They're in there. They're there. Hey, I want to work out. Hey, come on. No, come on. I can program really good workouts.
He was looking for some of the at-home workouters and trying to bring them into the open, and Street Parking is doing it this year. So I think that will be good for the community. I think it's great to see different parts of the community coming together and working together for a, united cause of doing CrossFit and bringing more CrossFit to more people. I'm just excited to see how this continues to grow, and if we continue to see the open numbers go up again like they have since they first went down in 2019. So let me know in the comments what my dog is handing me stuff. So let me know in the comments what you think we're gonna see in the Open, and if it's gonna be a little bit different this first year that Boz is programming the whole thing on his own, and what you think of some of the hints he may have been dropping so far. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. I appreciate you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. One more thing I wanted to add, actually. Why I think it's such a good idea to sign up for the Open. I have mentioned this in prior videos, but in case someone new happens to be watching this one, I wanna tell people why I think it's so beneficial. Whether or not you ever compete, like if you never compete, this is a great opportunity once a year to just test your fitness and see where you're at. You get a really large pool of people to see where you stand among, and I think it's great to test your fitness year to year. If you could see yourself improving or even staying the same in the Open, you're probably getting fitter because the entire field is getting fitter. It is a cool thing to be able to look back and say that you did it for years and years and years and to just see the growth. We've been retesting Open workouts at my gym, and we did one from 2017, and I've improved a ton since 2017. But I wouldn't know that without having signed up that year, logged a score, and been able to go back and look on the leaderboard to see where my score was that year. So I think it's a really valuable thing. I also think it's a really great way to get connected with the community, and it's something I think we all bond over, the shared suffering. And I think it's worth doing if you have the 20 bucks to spend on it, and just a great way to work out with your friends and do something fun. So I'll be supporting you from afar if you're doing it. I love cheering on all the people who watch this video or any of these videos. Leave a comment, let me know if you're doing the Open. I know some of you already have, but I am here to cheer you on again if you want to tell me again. All right, now for real, bye.